Assalamu alaikum, my dear student. Welcome to today's class. I hope all of you are doing well. We are here to do a biology class. Before starting the class, I want to introduce myself. I'm Afrina Rahman, a senior teacher of Milestone School and College from Sector 4 branch. In today's class, mainly we are going to give an overview of chapter 9, which is firmness and locomotion. The topic we are going to overview from this chapter is human skeleton, role of skeleton in firmness and locomotion. What is the shape, structure and the function of bone, cartilage and joint, and what is the role of bone and muscle in human locomotion or movement. Then what is tendon and ligament, and we are also going to discuss about disease of bones. So let's start from the very beginning. What is human skeleton? The skeleton is the internal part of the body that provides support, shape and protection to the soft tissue and delicate organs of animals. So if we take the building or house as an example, for a construction of any building or any house, we need a structural framework. Similar way, for our body, for the support of our body or for the definite shape of our body, we need an internal framework. Skeleton gives that internal framework. This is a framework which is consists of many individual bones and cartilage. There are also some bands of fibrous connective tissue. Along with this, they have ligaments and tendons, which have an intimate relationship with the parts of skeleton. They are all connected with skeleton. So human skeleton is composed of 206 either long, small, flat or unequal bones. Okay, so now if you see this picture, you will able to see different part of human skeletons. We can see the part of our upper arm and also leg. They have also shown us the part of skull, then rib cage. So there are the different bones altogether. They form the human skeleton. Along with bone, we also have tendon, ligament, cartilage in them. So if we talk about the types of human skeleton can be divided into two parts. One is exoskeleton, another one is endoskeleton. Exoskeleton, the part of the skeleton that exists outside of the body, is called exoskeleton, which will be easily visible from outside, like hair and nails. And endoskeleton are the part of the skeleton that remains inside of the body, which cannot be seen from outside. Okay, so the example of endoskeleton will be bones and cartilage, etc. Now if we talk about the role of skeleton in firmness and locomotion, there are several functions they actually perform, like structure and firmness of our body. The skeleton actually gives a definite shape and it holds the structure of our body, and it joins different part of our body with another organs or some organs. Number 2 is protection. The skeleton gives protection to the different soft organ and delicate organ of our body. For example, skull protects the brain, then a spinal cord protects the backbone or a vertebral column, then rib cage protects the lung, heart, like this. Then movement and locomotion, hand, leg, shoulder, then on rib girdle. This type of bones actually helps in the movement and locomotion. They get attached with different type of muscles and bones, and it helps in movement of different organs of our body. Production of blood cell, if we talk about the RBC production, RBC is actually produced in the bone marrow. Then storage of mineral salts. Mineral salts are different type of mineral salts like calcium, potassium, phosphorus is actually remains stored within the bone, and which actually makes the bone so hard and strong. Now we are going to learn about the structure and composition of bone. Bone is actually a modified form of connective tissue. It is the hardest tissue of our body. The bone cell actually gets scattered within the matrix, and the older bone will decay and the new bone will form. And the bone actually contains 40% of organic and 60% inorganic substance. So as I was talking about, the older bone will decay and new bone will develop. It is a continuous process. There will be different type of disease occur if the balance of this decay and development disturbed. So in later age, bone decay is relatively higher compared to bone formation. For this, the development of bone cells, vitamin D and calcium enriched food is very much important. Due to deficiency of this substance, normal growth of bone can be resisted. So sunlight also plays a very important function in case of this development. Sunlight actually heats the cholesterol in our skin, which ultimately brings some changes in the liver and skin, which helps to synthesize the vitamin D. So that is very much important to get enough amount of sunlight to keep our bone strong. Now if we are talking about cartilage, cartilage is also a connective tissue, but it is a different form of connective tissue. It will be not as hard as bone, but they are relatively soft and elastic, or we can say they are flexible. So cartilage are also remain scattered, or they will remain in pairs in the matrix. So all the cartilage are enclosed by a layer of connective tissue, which is called perichondrium. The layer is actually a kind of glazing white in color, which eventually gives a white color to the cartilage. For this glazing white color of this perichondrium, cartilage also looks white, or they can even look like glazy shining color. So cartilage are mainly found in different joints or in many articulation or surface of some bones. So now we are going to talk about bone joint or articulation. So what is bone joint? The joint between two or more bone are called bone joint or articulation. Articulation and bone joint are same. In every point, bone are firmly joined together with the help of flexible elastic tissue called ligament. Okay, so now we are also learn the definition of ligament. What is ligament? So every joint, bones are firmly joined together with the help of flexible elastic tissue, which is called ligament. So all the joints of our body is not same. Some of the joints are fixed, some of the joints are freely movable, and some of the joint can be slightly movable. Okay, so what is synovial joint? When two end of two bone touches and it makes a joint, that joint is called synovial joint. If more than two bones makes a joint, then it will be complex synovial joint. Okay, so the synovial joints or the parts of synovial joints are covered with cartilage, and in between this cartilage there will be a fluid present, which is called synovial fluid, which gives or which holds the bone firmly together. The synovial fluid and the cartilage of the joint actually reduce the friction, so less energy is consumed for the movement of this joint. Okay, so we can see in this figure the synovial fluid, and also we can see a cartilage, ligament. Now if we talk about the bone joint, mainly there are three types of bone joint. Slightly fixed joint, the bones are joined. What is fixed joint? Fixed joint are the joint in which the bones are joined firmly, so they cannot move, they are immovable, like the joint of our cranium or skull. Then slightly movable joint, these joints are joined with one another and has a small sliding surface, so it can move slightly or bend our body. Example of such a joint will be the joint of backbone. Then freely movable joint, this joint can be moved easily, like joint of our wrist. Now there are two more examples of synovial joint, like ball and socket joint and hinge joint. What is ball and socket joint? Joint where the round one head of the bone will fit into the cup-shaped socket or in a place that allows the bone to move in all plane, like a shoulder joint or thigh joint. If you look at carefully, if you look at the shoulder joint carefully, we can see we can move the shoulder or move our hand from the shoulder joint in all plane. Then hinge joint. In hinge joint is one type of joint in which moves like a hinge of a door. It can only move in one plane, like elbow joint or our knee joint. Now if you talk about the muscles, so muscle or muscular system consists of different type of involuntary muscles of the internal organs, and also the walls of blood vessel, cardiac muscles. So the some voluntary muscles are also get attached to the bones, and some involuntary muscles are attached to the internal organ. So in together they perform, and this muscular system performs various important functions like movement of organs, help movement, like placing the organs in orderly manner, also helps in balancing our body. Then muscular system allowing the skeletal system gives a definite shape or structure, and it also helps to store the energy. Then cardiac muscles are the special type of muscle which actually helps to maintain the heartbeat and blood circulation. It also helps in the movement of our food particles, and which eventually helps in the expulsion of stool from our body. Now, if we talk about the role of bone and muscle in human locomotion, the muscle and bone performs a very important function in locomotion. The skeleton the skeleton is actually composed of the internal structure of our body, and the muscular system actually covers this structure. Okay, the muscular system covers the skeleton, and voluntary muscles are attached to the bone by a strong elastic part, which is tendon. So eventually, muscle contraction is will result in the bone movement. Okay, or a bone movement will result in organ movement. So if we look at this picture very clearly, we can explain this picture, and then it will be easier for you to understand the movement. So if we bend our arm, or if we bend our elbow, the biceps muscles is attached to the scapula of the top and radius at the bottom. By the stimulus of the voluntary nerve, it contracts the bicep muscles and pulls the radius and ulna towards our body, so the arms bend. So eventually the movement of upper part is moving the lower part also. So at the time of the when the biceps moves, at the time the tricep will relax. So if we push the arm back down again, an opposite phenomenon will occur, and that means the stimulation of voluntary nerve will move, and it will move the tricep muscle. And if the tricep muscle contracts, and if the tricep muscle contracts, it will eventually extend the radius and ulna part or ulna bone. At the same time, the biceps will relax. So we can see the alternative way: if bicep relax, tricep will contract, and if tricep contracts, bicep will relax. So in the way we can say, by bending or extending our arm, we can even easily move our arm, and in this way various muscle actually helps in the movement of different organ. Okay, now if you talk about the tendon and ligament, so tendon and ligament is a very two important part of our bone and muscle, which eventually helps in the movement. So what is tendon? The terminal portion of muscle form a rope-like strong structure which is attached to the bone, and this terminal portion is called tendon. So what is ligament? We already learned about ligament. Again, I am going to repeat. So bones are attached to each other with a thin layer cloth like elastic structure. They are called ligament. So bone and cartilage, tendon and ligament plays a very important role in the muscle movement, also organ movement, and eventually our body movement. So if we learn the definition as well as the difference between the tendon and ligament, that will be much more appreciable for your exam. Like if you see these points, you can easily write the difference between the tendon and ligament. First difference will be definition of both tendon and ligament, which is given in the previous slide. And number two difference can be connect skeletal muscle to bones. Tendon will connect the skeletal muscle to bone, and ligaments connects bone to bone. Tendon are flexible and inelastic, but ligaments are flexible and elastic. So tendon is a rope-like structure, and ligament is a cloth-like structure. So tendon is white in color and ligament is yellow in color. So Miss actually gave these points to actually easier the differences for you, so you guys can easily make difference now. Now we are going to talk about the disease of bone. The first disease that we are going to talk about is osteoporosis. So osteoporosis is actually a calcium deficiency disease. If any type of calcium or vitamin D is deficient in anyone's body, they have a huge high chance to suffer from osteoporosis. Okay, so if you talk about the cause, generally elderly male and females suffer from this. There is a high chance of having this disease in males who have taking medicine with steroid, and the females after their menopause or pausing of their monthly cyclic process. Then if anyone leading a lazy life, they can also suffer from this disease. And due to and I already talked about, due to deficiency of mineral salts like calcium, osteoporosis can occur. Maximum possibilities of suffering this disease for any person if they suffer from arthritis for a long term. So if we talk about the symptoms, what are the symptoms they are going to show? So if anyone suffer from osteoporosis, their bones will become brittle, which is easily breakable, and thickness of the bone will decrease. Okay, then muscle strength reduce. Then they will feel pain in their bones and bone joints and back pain. Diagnosis: this disease can be diagnosed by examining the density of the bones. So with the help of a equipment like density measuring equipment. So at the primary stage, this disease is actually not noticed, but if any type of fracture occur in the hip bone or hip, that part, and that actually indicate the presence of this disease inside our body. Now, what are the remedies we should follow? The elderly people should take at least 1200 milligram of calcium. They should eat calcium enriched food and dairy food, and also they can eat different type of fruit juice, orange juice, like vegetables. Then also they can also eat soya products, which is very enriched in vitamin and mineral salts. Then prevention: for preventing this disease, they can come in contact of adequate amount of sunlight. They should take vitamin D and calcium enriched food, and they should also lead a balanced life and balanced food, and they should do exercise, of course, with after taking doctor advice. They can do the moderate amount of exercise. Now the next disease that we are going to talk about is rheumatoid arthritis. So there are 100 type of arthritis that can occur, but rheumatoid arthritis is one of them. Generally, elderly people suffer from this disease, and young persons' pain in joint may have a symptoms for rheumatic arthritis or any other disease. So, but the elderly people or elderly person have higher chance from suffering this disease. So the treatment and diagnosis of this disease will totally depend on the nature of pain and nature of where the pain is actually occurring. Okay, then if you talk about the symptoms, inflammation and pain in bone joints and stiff bone joints and joint swelling, pain during articular movement. Now remedies: actually this disease is not fully cured in case of elders, but if you follow some measurement, follow some instruction, they can give relief to some extent, like avoid hard labor, do light exercise to keep our bone joint movable, and apply lukewarm water or lukewarm heat in the affected joint. Then we have to take our doctor advice, and we have to take different type of medication. For preventing this disease, we can do like doing regular exercise after taking doctor advice, and we have to take vitamin D and calcium enriched food, and also fibrous food, which will eventually help us in preventing this disease. Okay, now thank you everyone for listening to me. I hope all the points are clear to you. If you have any confusion, I would like to suggest you to contact with your subject teachers. They can make you easily understand this. So thank you so much for attending the class.